I want to welcome everybody. It's Thursday, October 24th to the Lovonya call led by Dr. Ann Merkel. And I want to give a brief update about Lovonya and then turn it over to Ann. So Lavagna's format is changing, and we want to give just our most deep thanks to everyone who has participated over the last 2 years. It's been an amazing place of holding space for people to heal. And in my mind, it's been one of the best values on the planet, $18 for 4 classes that are live and in person and that are different every month and that are here to support you in many ways to evolve. I see so many people in pain and suffering, and they want a different life. And it feels to me like what we've been offering with breath work and emotional intelligence and qigong and then energy medicine with Anne has been amazing. And there's been a bunch of members, and the number of members that pay is higher than the number of members that show up for class, and then the growth is really just not there. And if you've been around me for a while, you know that growth is really important to me. And so when we realize that we're just not growing and that we don't have a plan to make Lovonya grow in its current format, other than waiting for inspired activities to show up and partners to show up to bring their audiences through, it was just time to stop that. So we cut off about a week and a half ago everybody's payments. So we're not going to take money from people anymore. And we've released our 4 practitioners who were teaching every Thursday for close to 2 years now with great gratitude. And we opened the door for what's new. And I offer myself as a model for people because oftentimes I'm willing to be vulnerable and open and, show you how I'm doing, and that might make some impact on you. And so in the space since that has happened, what has emerged is that I hold the feeling of Lovonya in my heart really clearly now, and I'm supposed to do something local with it on Maui. And yesterday, somebody approached me and asked me if I would be interested in being one of the founding kind of cornerstone members of a property that has 10 bedrooms on it and would be used to gather food and distribute food on Maui. Essentially, we would have a big donor who would give us $10,000 for food every Saturday, and we would prepare meals and we would distribute all that on Maui. So that just showed up right in the space. So that's how I know things are supposed to change, is that sometimes you just have to be willing to let go of a current format. So I'm not done with Lovonya. Like, the feeling is of the utmost importance to me. I just don't know how to do it in the format that we've been doing it online. So thank you for participating, and thank you for leading. Dr. Ang, you've been amazing. Like, you've just kept going back to the well and finding what else you could teach people and showing up. It's just been great. And so we're going to save the playlist of every recorded lesson from the last couple of years. And that's been in the footer of your emails for the last couple of years. If anybody wants it, you can just email support@thewellnessenterprise.com. And we're not going to really use the we at Lovonya email anymore. We'll just use support@thewellnessenterprise.com. It comes to the same place anyway. And it just makes it easier to keep track of things. So that's where we are. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me personally. I don't want to take any more of Ann's time, but contact me personally or ask me to call you or whatever, and we'll communicate about it. And I'd be happy to do that. But thank you all for your participation. So, all right, Dr. Ann, the space is yours. Thanks for making room for that.
Okie doke. Thanks, Patter. So, yeah, Lovonya is great, and it's been great, and I've been really enjoying being with you guys once a month. And I remember at least 15 years ago, it might have been closer to 20, in my own practice, I had I think it started out as weekly calls and then monthly calls, but I charged $45, and this was almost 20 years ago for that. And I had a really good core group of people that kept coming back. So this, I think, was a real blessing and a gift, and I'm glad so many of you participated. And so today I want to go out with a bang and lay a foundation for everybody coming back and doing some more real exciting things in the future. So part of the reason I come up with these strange topics and different topics most times is because I'm one of those lifetime learners, and I go down multiple rabbit holes, probably daily, at least weekly, to follow new science or investigate different things. And in fact, I wore my funny shirt on, let's see, Get Free with CBD. So I attended a really good CBD webinar last night, and I just wanted to share it with you. I don't get any kickback or anything from that, but it's Dr. Dustin Sulak in Maine, who has his brand is Healer CBD, and he does CBD and THC. But the thing about Dr. Sulak is not only is he a wonderful teacher, and he trains lots of practitioners how to dose and how to support people to use hemp and marijuana in any different cannabinoid forms, but he's got some excellent products. I've never found anything as good as his CBD products, if that's what you're using. And it's good for, last night he talked about topics such as use of THC in dementia. And that was amazing. Another thing is using CBD in suppositories for women that have PMS, any kind of menstrual issues, cramps, pain, mood shifts, all that kind of stuff, and even menopause. And yeah, maybe hot flashes too. I'm not sure about that. But he just went into so many different things. And you've heard me talk a little bit, just like some of the doctors with healing for the ages, about the fact that our cells all have nicotinic receptors. And using these receptors, if you use nicotine patches or nicotine gum, your cells take that on, and that can help to neutralize the spike protein created by the artificial jabs. But our cells also have these endocannabinoid receptors. And in dosing using cannabis, you have to make sure that you're not overloading the receptors or underloading, but finding the right balance for your own body, and then using the different form of hemp or marijuana in oil or gummies, or they're different forms. Smoking it doesn't give you the medicinal value. So this is not about getting high at all. This is about the medicinal value of the plant, that as soon as they identified years and years ago that it was very beneficial medicinally, the United States government patented it and made it against the law to use it. But anyway, I'm not going to go into anything else other than, if you have been interested in looking for a good source of cannabis and the CBD products, Healer CBD is very good. Check that out online, Dr. Dustin Sulak. And I just have so much positive to say. I've been following him for years, and I just finally made it to another one of his webinars last night. But you can use that for so many things. The one thing I want to remind you of is, don't use supplements or CBD or any of these kinds of things like doctors use drugs. Because you have a symptom, you don't want to throw a lot at it. You want to be in balance. When you're using natural medicine, you want to make sure your body can absorb it, meaning it's real and it's not synthetic, man-made stuff that's hard for the body to even utilize, but you don't want to overload or underload. And the thing about supplements is pharmaceuticals, you can have overdoses and have really bad side effects. With vitamins, you generally, you may get some diarrhea or something like that, but you're not going to have a horrible side effect if you take that. You got to be careful with herbs because they are very natural, and they're very potent. You may think they're not potent, but herbs are very potent. And homeopathy, you want to make sure you're in balance with that too. So there's so many things that we can utilize for natural healing in our body, but we need to understand and be guided on how to utilize, how to dose, and what is best for our bodies. Now, my body likes energy medicine the best. I like homeopathy, and that's my go-to, although I will use CBD. I don't use herbs as much. Some people swear by herbs, and that's all they do if they don't want to go the pharmaceutical route. So I'm just throwing that out because it's fresh in my mind, and I thought this is something that we need to get the word out. There was also a big section in the CBD webinar about rheumatoid symptoms and conditions that can be treated with cannabis. Also sleep stuff. Cannabis, hemp, CBD, different things can be very useful in supporting you to be able to sleep. And some people say, oh, go out and take a melatonin. But if you start taking melatonin as a supplement, your body then doesn't make its own melatonin. And it's all about keeping the body in balance, because the healer in the body knows how to heal itself. And so what you don't want to do is confuse it or keep throwing stuff that it wants to make itself when it's ready to, get back in and make whatever it is that it needs. And all it needs is some help, or it needs you to stop toxing it out. Okay, so that's a little bit of information I wanted to share before we got into the juice. Now, I didn't get the reminder email.
Dr. Ann, I just want to let you know, I've seen slides that Dr. Artis from the Healing for the Ages put up about nicotine attacking nanotechnology in the cells. And have just ordered some nicotine for my auntie who's got dementia here in Maui. And so I'm going to start her out on the 2 milligram gum that I have, that I've been chewing more often lately, and then put her on 4. And then I'm actually going to try her on 21, which is what they do for somebody who smokes like packs a day, thinking since she's, going through so much with dementia, maybe it'll really create an impact and we'll be able to see it. So,
Dr. Artis, I would contact him before doing that, because if
okay.
you take too much, she'll be really, really nauseous.
Okay.
So you don't want to overdose with that.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, that's part of why I wanted to share with you. So thank you
Yeah.
for the suggestion. We'll go cautiously.
Yeah. And I was going to mention that you told me you were doing some of the detoxes through the global healing products. Well, I am now too. And, that is pretty amazing. And basically what they say is you start with a colon cleanse, and then you go to a liver cleanse, and then you take a week off and you do another liver cleanse, and then you take another week off, and then you do another liver cleanse, and then you do heavy metals and other weird invader kind of cleanse. And their supplements are so natural and so absorbable and so wonderful that all you have to do is call them. They're not going to prescribe for you. They're not doctors. And I think that's very good that they don't do that, because too many health food stores go in and they all act like doctors dosing you. But what you need to do is, look at their protocols and see if that resonates with you. Because I think getting down to a really, really clean system, and believe me, I've got a 99.99% clean system compared to the majority of people. I gave up gluten and grains and stuff 45 years ago. So, I've been playing with this, but I still have enough heavy metals and mold and stuff I've picked up environmentally that I would recommend this to anybody. And it's not going to break the bank if you do this, because I was taking handfuls, morning and night of their supplements, and that costs a lot more than just going through the global healing detoxing protocol. So, if you feel like that is good for your body, then I recommend it. And I think, Patter, you recommend it too.
I do. In fact, I did get the wholesale account with Earth Harmony this week, and Earth Harmony is a global healing company. So if you're interested in global healing products, we are both an affiliate of theirs, and they also have another website, another set of the same products, and we're a wholesale account there. So just contact us if you think about ordering, and we'll see if we can help you with that.
Right. And I can order through Emerson Ecologics too. And some of you have accounts with them, and they have the global healing products. So,
Great.
all right. So, the title or the topic I wanted to go into today, and I just wanted to use that as filler if nobody showed up, but you're here. So, I wanted you to bring your own cases, and we'll talk about issues for you or a loved one or a friend or, relative. If you have an issue that you'd like to just, talk to the doctor and get some input, I'd be happy to do that. I want to use today's session for that. So did anybody bring something that's coming up for them, or a question? Something from the news that has to do with health that you had a question about, or?
I appreciate you. Open it wide open. Oh, here goes Marcia. Looks like she's got something.
No, I was going to ask you, Patter, what was the name of those earplugs that you had said that were really, really good, that didn't have the EFA
Yeah.
in it?
Yeah, they're air tubes. Let me think about that. I don't remember. But I will get you an answer.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
while you're looking for that, I just finally found mine too, but they're not hanging around my desk right now. So, but they're very good. Okay. All right, Ed.
I'm interested in anything that you think might be helpful for improving my vision. I've done a lot of different formulas. I guess I have astigmatism, or the blurry near vision. Basically, my eyes get really tired really fast. I can see pretty good, but it goes really quickly. And I wear reading glasses, and then they just need to keep getting stronger and stronger. So if you have any suggestions, that's great.
Are you using just the generic reading glasses, or do you have a prescription for your eyes?
I have a prescription.
Okay. So the prescription includes something for your astigmatism.
I don't think that they do. I don't think there's anything that they can do really with glasses.
Well, actually, they do something. It has to do with creating little invisible lines that go directions based on where they see a shadow or where you see a fogginess, which is where the astigmatism in your vision is showing up. So you might ask your eye doctor, how long ago has it been since you went to the eye doctor to?
Maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay, well, our eyes change, and astigmatisms can move around in our vision pattern. You also might.
I'm wondering why they wouldn't have suggested that if they actually do it. Do you know what I mean?
It would be in your prescription.
But,
So
but why didn't they offer this type of glass if it's available?
Well, I think usually an optometrist just puts it in. But if they don't call it to your attention, they still might put it in, or you might call it to their attention. I know that when my own prescription was analyzed by somebody, they said, oh, well, that one's for your astigmatism. And, you know, it's kind of has to do with the angle of the lens.
Mm.
But that would be a good question for your optometrist. And the other thing is, are you reading, are you using the blue light blocking glasses when you're watching any kind of screen?
No.
You should get some of those because I started out, I've got these chakra colored glasses and I started using my yellow ones to block the light. But then I bought some that you can buy them online. You can buy them through your optometrist and you can buy them in your prescription. So these glasses have a blue light filter. And you can also adjust your monitor or your telephone or, you know, any screen you're using for working with the blue light, because that and the pixels of the vibration are what will cause your eyes to have problems. And as we get older, it creates more problems. But you know, if you're spending a lot of time on screen, like, you know, it sounds like you do, and I know I do, we have to guard our vision and we have to take care of that. Now, are you familiar with Donna Eden, the mother of
I've heard
energy
of it.
medicine?
Yeah.
Okay. She just had, well, actually several years ago, but I ran into the series again, but they were eye exercises that help with cataracts and all kinds of stuff. So if you'd like, I'll show them to you right now. I think
I've done all kinds of different eye exercises. That's
okay.
really been my modality. I probably hurt my eyes by not wearing glasses. I just refused that. I felt like that was going to be a road if I went down that they would just keep getting worse and worse. And they did. And then I just like totally stopped wearing them. And I think I just strained my eyes into a bad shape. You know, I mean, it's like, how can they become football shaped when they were used to be around? I used to have better than 20/20 vision. I passed the pilot's test for eyesight in my 30s. So
And
um,
I can speak to this a little bit. Your story sounds a little similar to mine. I don't have any diagnosis or anything. I had phenomenal vision and I resisted glasses. And lately I've been doing two things that have really made a difference. So the first is if I hold my phone up, you see how it's red?
yes.
So that's the current blue light blocking technology available on the Apple iPhone. I'm sure it's available on other technologies too. And when I shifted, I have this Dominoes app that I play, and sometimes, you know, I play too many hours of Dominoes in a day. And I noticed that if I was both on the phone and doing something small for a long period of time, I really would get diminished. And I just shifted it to red and it made an enormous difference. But then there's one other thing that I've used for a number of years that's just a fantastic tool, which is these pinhole glasses. And I am shocked by these. Like I can play dominoes for too long on my phone and then go outside and put these on for 1 minute and get some relief. And for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and my eyes are back to not feeling strained. So these are really simple things. And when you're not using the red technology, then blue light blocking glasses is definitely a thing. You know, back when I was buying blue light blockers, they were like $10 and $20, and now they're like $150. Like they've made them all super fancy. I don't know, Dr. Ann, if you know a way to like choose a brand or something with that's really reasonable. But spending so much on blue light blockers after they used to be so cheap just kind of annoys me.
I bought mine through the Health Ranger in the Health Ranger store online. And what I do if I'm sitting in front of a screen, like, you know, a TV screen or something, I'll put them just on top of these glasses, just like, you know, the sun blocker things. And mine weren't that expensive. They were more than I wanted to spend, but they're better than you'll just pick up in a drugstore or something like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, he's got some, I just popped on, they're only $30, so that's pretty reasonable. I see a lot that are a lot more than that.
Now, also, there is a difference in the light bulbs that people use.
Mhm.
The old incandescent were the healthiest light bulbs you could have. And yes, they did emit heat, and sometimes they caused, I guess, fires and stuff, and they took more energy apparently. But right now, the fluorescent, the most dangerous is the compact fluorescent, because you've got this constant this. And when I worked in corporate America, I took my own long light tubes in to my office so I wouldn't be in the regular fluorescent light, because I couldn't read, and this was like 40-50 years ago. So you've got to be careful about what kind of light bulbs you use. I order mine specially from a company that I work with, and they don't have that vibration. So that is what gets you. And all the TVs and the monitors, that's, we don't see them because they are moving. The pixels and the light vibrations are so fast that we don't really focus on them, but our eyes have to constantly readjust as they're taking the picture and sending it to the brain. And that's all done in the retina. So I think more and more people are getting macular they're having problems with their retina that could then work with the macula too, because I think that I read somewhere that the eyes have more neurons than any other organ in the body, and they have to move so fast, and they have to be up to speed, and you have to eat a good diet and utilize have a lifestyle that's good. Another thing is the sunshine is changing with all the geoengineering and the particles, the aluminum particles that they're putting up in the sky. It's this brightness that's not natural. It just is this constant glare in our eyes, and that can cause cataracts and other shadowy things in our eyes. So, it's polluting is a polluting situation is very, very upon us right now, and we just have to be careful about that. I think omega-3, 6, 9s, really good source, are good for the eyes. Also, if you're eating the typical carotenes, they said eat more carrots, but there are a lot of vegetables that have that in them. That can be a help. Also, just some of these exercises have to do with moving our eyes, making sure that you're using the peripheral vision and you're going all around. But you can get the energy of your body moving through these infinity signs, which is it awakens the radiant circuits. And you can do that right in front of each eye. That innervates the eye, and it's a good exercise for that. I don't know if you ever tried that. But another thing is, have you tried that?
Not that, but not the infinity sign. I mean,
Okay.
I do regular eye exercises where I look the different directions and and turn them around in both directions,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well, Donna Eden's thing really gave me some. I was really stressed the other day, and I followed her little protocol. All it is you take your fingers and you stretch it here, stretch. You pull you've got these cranial faults. And sometimes if you're sleeping on your side or sleeping in different ways, or you get whacked on the head, or you're just too stressed, they move around. So this just opens it up. So you go all the way down to the back of your neck. That's helpful. Then you warm up your hands, and you just cup your hands over your eyes. You're not touching your eyes, but this really does give a sense of not only warmth because you've innervated the energy coming out of your palms, but it allows your eyes to really close and rest for a minute. And then I said, pull on the eye. Oh, no, the next one is pinch your eyebrows. You've got meridians going around and through your eyebrows. That's a good one. You've tried that before, Ed?
Yeah, I'm doing most all everything.
Well, I just want to go through her protocol
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
it's just, for the others, thanks for bringing it up. Anyway,
I'm
so
an
then,
acupuncture physician, so like I know where all the acupuncture points are. I
okay,
do
good.
scalp massage. I hit this whole line
Well, you
of
should be teaching this.
acupuncture points that go through there, and
Okay.
just
So
and nothing is really helping, truthfully. Like besides the palming, like I'll notice the rest that I get.
yeah,
And like if I really have to do something and I'm, my eyes are getting tired, but I really need to
yeah,
keep going, I'll just keep, every whatever 15 minutes or so, I'll take out a minute and give them a rest. And that does help, help you go on, continue.
yeah.
So
Well, remember when we're looking at screens, we're not blinking the way we normally would in real life. And if we're reading, we're not blinking. And our eyes need to be more, moist in order to keep them from drying. So, that's part of it too. But let me just real quickly finish that weird protocol for the rest of the people. So
okay.
after you pinch your eyebrows, you kind of pull your eyelids very gently. Just that kind of gives you if your eyes are a little itchy, that kind of feels good just to pull them out a little bit and let them go in. Some of us have saggier skin on our eyelashes or our eyelids than others now. Okay, then is when we go and we look around the outside of our peripheral vision and then the other direction, and we go up and horizontally and diagonally, and just make sure that you've got full range of motion with your eyes and you can follow a finger or not. Then you're going to do the radiant circuits with the infinity sign. And then you're going to put your fingers kind of over your eyes, touching, and you're going to lightly tap. And I think that's all. But those are all just things that, Ed, you already know. But, I just wanted to share that with the rest of you because we're all, a lot of us are dependent on screens. We're energized, we're entertained, we travel on Netflix at night, stuff like that. So we spend a lot of time in front of screens. Our meetings are on screens. So it's not natural. Our eyes aren't used to being bombarded by a constant flickering of lights that we can't even focus on. So those, let's see, I don't think I have. There is, well, there are some specific supplements that are good for your eyes that you could ask your optometrist, or if you have an ophthalmologist, if they have any recommendations. I had my optometrist tell me years ago I was going to have cataracts eventually. And I said, no, I'm not going to, because I have my omega-3s, 6s, and 9s. Well, but anyway, I think there's a lot of stuff going out there now because of the environment. So we just have to be, notice what our eyes are telling us. And if they need to rest, we need to get away from the screens occasionally. I find going out and gardening for a few hours and just having everything turned off inside, no phone, no nothing, is really nice. When I come back, I just feel refreshed. So I hope that helps.
Thank you. Yes.
And so you said you were an acupuncturist?
Yes.
Okay. And you do needles, or do you do accugraph, or what?
Needles. I'm doing a lot of cold laser right now. So it's like AccuLaser.
That's what I use.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything you could add to tell people about how to support their health and just general aches and pains using acupuncture or even tapping their own meridian points?
Yeah, they can get, familiar with the lines of the meridians and um, do I do like an acu yoga session every morning. Like I'll be doing my yogic types of stretches, and then I might find places that I'll actually need to press while I'm in like a pose. So you're combining acupressure and yoga stretch. And I find that really, really like a great combination that can be very, very helpful to people. And I don't miss a morning of that. That's how I
That's
start my day. I can hardly get out of bed unless
yeah.
I'm starting the day like that.
Okay. Yeah. And where are you located in case anybody wants to come to you?
Oh, I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Okay, well, thank you. And I'm glad you're here and thanks for the questions. I wish I had more to share with you.
I think some of these things like getting the tower and potentially maybe the nanosoma. I mean, I try everything. There's nothing I that I'm
Mhm.
would exclude from trying to cure this. And it's almost like it's dangled out there for me to find other things that are helpful for people that maybe I would quit researching if I actually found something that worked for this. I might not be researching all
Mhm.
day,
Yeah.
and I find so many good things that way. So it's just my process, I think.
Yeah, I understand. Me too. Okay. Well, good. Well, nice to meet you, Ed, and
Nice.
glad you joined
Thanks for
us.
your advice. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. So who else has something that they'd like to share? Zane, you have anything you'd like to share with the gang that could help overall health?
And Zane
Proud
did type something in the chat that he is traveling and he's all ears. He just can't interact right now. So he
Okay,
said,
okay, I understand. I understand. Okay, who, Mary? Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah,
There you are.
Hi there,
Hi there.
everybody. I finally got my workers sent out the door, so I didn't have to run out there and constantly jump up and down. And I forgot to put my screen off, so you could see me jumping up and down.
we're glad you're here.
I'm
Yeah,
glad to be here.
did you get any impact from the hurricanes that went through?
Oh yeah, but the last one wasn't too bad. Just a lot of tornadoes, most of which didn't hit the house. Took a lot of stuff around the yard and threw things around and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. But
Um,
we did have the two previous, I guess, is when it landed here for about 5 days in a row, and when the rain was coming sideways and it was just torrential, and eventually we had put all new roof on and renewed, shingles, whatever. It was all in really great shape, but the wind got a hold of one edge of one shingle, and the air pipes or whatever they're called that are up there, one of them got loosened, and that's where the water came in. So I walked into my office one morning.
oh,
It's being rained on,
oh no.
but I caught it really early,
Mhm.
early as I guess
Yeah.
as it finally started coming through. Got it all, pans and towels and stuff, enough to get it down, keep
Right.
from ruining the floor in that
Uh-huh.
area.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the roofers were great. I mean, they were right there. As soon as it stops raining, we'll be here to help you. And so they were.
Okay.
But
Good.
I'm still fixing. We found other damage, water crawls.
Uh,
So we found it in a closet in the hallway on the
Ooh.
on the other side of where it was, and I wasn't planning on finding it there. So, but that we have to do the wood floors in that area, but at least for now I can close the door to the closet and you can't see it.
Uh-huh.
But otherwise I'm okay. The only thing
Okay.
I was going to say to you is I have noticed that with all the stuff that's going on with the solar flares and things like that, I'm getting little aches in places where I might have once before had issues. Like I had years and years ago, I had a rotator cuff surgery,
Mhm.
and it was right at the time that I had breast cancer. And then I also had same side, all the right side, and I had had to have a hip replacement at that time. Everything's been fine. I've never had a problem since. And all of a sudden, with all this stuff going on, they ache. It's not like I feel like there's really maybe something wrong or that they're not working anymore. Just that they kind of ache. And if I don't get up and do some stuff with them, um, like working with them and rubbing them, and you know,
Mhm.
I just wondered if there's something else I should try.
Well, I would say, because the first day that they put up, that they turned on 5G on the orbiting satellites and the towers, I felt it, and I'd been pain free for years, and all of a sudden had aches and pains all over the place. So I have totally remediated my house. I've done biogeometry. I've got a 220, a 75, and a 35 tower here in this house, and still, that could be a problem. And didn't you say you have a tower somewhat close to your house? Yeah. So one of the things, now that I'm understanding, and you could go back to some of Nico's recent talks about radiesthesia. There's a little bit of what does that have to do with cosmic towers? But that has to do with the ley lines and the energy fields of the planet, and the fact that there is really good energy running on some of these lines, and there's not so helpful, not so comfortable energy running on the other lines. Some are higher off the ground than others. And also, when we place something that's emitting these very detrimental positive ions into the atmosphere, like a cell tower, and maybe you are located around a ley line somewhere in your house or on your property, that may have something to do with it. Also, after the storm and the hurricane and the tornadoes and stuff that you've been experiencing, that will move things. That will shift, and some of the energetics of the planet will shift, but also the man-made stuff. And so it might be just out of kilter. Also, they continue to put up more satellites, beaming the 5G back down to Earth. And then they enact, or they turn on certain things in certain neighborhoods, and they're playing with the frequencies too. So all we can do is have really good device hygiene. Don't sleep with anything in your room. If you can disengage all your electricity in your bedroom, that's the best. Earthing, go out and put your feet on the ground if possible. Ed, what were you going to come?
Well, you just mentioned it, but I would go into it deeper, is the earthing. I've gotten the grounding sheets.
Yeah.
And they weren't really, like, it wasn't a good system until I took the advice of is either Patrick and or Nico, about running the line outside and not using the house ground system. There was like that dirtiness that was in the house system was actually detrimental on a level as well. And now that I've got a separate line going out my window to the ground,
Mhm.
I wake up with so much less pain in my body. It's just it's phenomenal. Like I tell everybody that I can think of, that's the number one thing you can do for yourself, I think, is to ground. Seems to be a
Yeah.
really easy thing to do.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mary, do you use the earthing products too already?
Mhm.
Yeah, I do too. But that comment, Ed, about the dirty electricity, the Southeast US, where you and I are, Mary, and some of the rest of you may also be, has the dirtiest electricity system in the country. I don't know that that goes over to Texas, but there's just the harmonics and the magnetism, and in our houses and in our buildings, our energy is really dirty. And so there are companies that make filters that you can plug into a socket to help to clean up and harmonize the energy so that it's not just out of balance.
Mhm.
And I've got a whole house filter too that I put on my electric box. So that's helped a lot. So, there are devices for that, but thanks for mentioning that, Ed, because dirty electricity is horrible. And of course, if you've got a smart meter on your house, you got another problem. But they do have screens you can put on the inside of your house and inside wall to kind of push it, shield you so you're not taking it in. And you can also ask your electric company, they may ask you to pay per month, but you can ask to have the smart meter removed from your house and go back to the old fashioned one. But all of that makes a big impact on the body. And more, our food is polluted, and heavy metals are in the air, in the water we drink, and in our food. So I think the people that have had a lot of shots, whether that's the flu shot or the COVID shot or any kind of boosters, probably have more heavy metals in their system, and that can react with the environment and the electromagnetics being pushed at us. And that'll make you ache. But you might consider, Mary, what I'm doing and what Patter's doing is doing a detox. And I know you've
I
probably
am in
done
the
this.
process of doing a cleanse right now.
Okay. Well, remember there are
Detox.
cleanses and there are cleanses, but
Yes, I know.
yeah,
I'm doing this with my nutritionist, so she's
good. Okay. All
pretty
right.
knowledgeable about what she's doing.
Yeah.
I'm doing it on my own.
Yeah. We've got a lot of heavy metals in our environment, and that can really make the body ache too. So, but thank you for bringing that up. And
It's good to see you.
there are some good CBD products. If it irritates you and you can't sleep well, that can help. But there's a cream that I use because as an old professional musician, my fingers started aching because of the molds on corn back when I was a kid. And the CBD lotion, I mean, now, at my tender age, I do have aches and pains, and it shows up on my thumbs. And so I just put this cream on, and it's just like, oh, thank you. So, there are things out there, and you don't have to go to pain relief via opioids. Cannabis is a really good alternative to opioids, and homeopathy too. Did you order some of the pain remedy, the homeopathic?
I haven't, no.
Okay, there's a really good one that I recommend and I use with my patients, and that might be something that if you go back to that dispensary online under my account, you can find that.
I think you and I talked about that at one point, some time back. And so I've got all the connections. I'll go back and look at it.
Yeah, that pain remedy, just like it's a spray bottle, and you spray like 7 or 8 sprays under your tongue, leave it there, don't eat or drink 10 minutes, 15 minutes before or after. That really helps me.
That
you're
sounds
kind of
very familiar. I think I I think I got that at one point. It ran
Check
out
it
and then
out,
I
see
just
if you
sort of,
got it. And if you do, use it and see if it helps. And you can use it topically too. Just spray it where it
I don't
hurts
have
and
any
rub it
problems
in.
anyplace else other than just those places where I already had that surgery.
Yeah.
Otherwise, nothing hurts.
Yeah. Well, good.
I'm so far so good.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Zane, we saw you put your head in and wave and you were in the sunshine. So if you're stopped somewhere, if you want to say something, you can. Otherwise, we're glad you're with us listening anyway. Richard seemed to have left. So he's got so many issues going on sometimes. So, you know, and he's got some really interesting fixes that he has worked with over the years too. So he's always got something interesting to say. Marcia, do you have anything you'd like to ask or say? No, no. All right. So, all right. Well, anybody else have anything to add or subtract or comment or share with the rest?
Let's just hold space for Zane for one more second. It looked like he was wanting to engage. And Zane, if you do want to engage, just if you can get back in that position within a minute or so and let us know. We can hold space for you. And we understand you're traveling and all that's going on.
Okay, so Patrick, you've put the link for the earphones. So if you're interested in good earphones that aren't metal going into your head, there's the little plastic tubes. I used them years ago, and when I was recording a phone call, it was hard to hear sometimes. But other than that, it was great. And it really does cause you less hassle and pain and doesn't impact your brain. Let's see. Okay. So there
There's
you are.
there's Zane. Hi,
Ah.
Zane.
Hey, I'm here. Pulled
Yay.
into the breakdown lane. Just have a couple of words about the eyes.
Okay,
What-
good.
What I've been doing to add to what you were saying, I agree with it all. And I studied with this one teacher. It's called Ming-Mu, Ming, Mingmu, and it means bright eyes. And so he'd write out bright eyes like an eye chart. Each character, Chinese character, was a larger size, spelling Mingmu. And so what you would do, you'd take your weakest eye, if you had a weak eye, and you hold the other eye and you stare at when they first start to get blurry. You can't, it's kind of a blurry edge. And you focus on that for like 10 minutes. Don't blink, just stare into it. And what I found happens is the chi begins to penetrate and tears start flowing out. It's like detoxifying the eye. And that was one of the things I did. It's very intense. It works. It takes some practice. You got to stay with it. And if you're not disciplined, it just won't do it. But yeah, that's another one. Also to stare in the distance, stare at a distant point and hold the focus on that. Particularly if you're around screens a lot, to use that distance stare and hold the focus, I find very helpful. And it's helped a lot of people's eyes. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in. Bright eyes, Ming-Mu. And
Thank
think
you.
bright eyes, think bright eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Zane. All right. Okay.
Okay, over and out, folks. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Zane.
Happy travels.
Well, I think we've kind of caught up with everybody. So, Anne, thank you again for all you've done for the last couple of years. We really appreciate you, and you've shared a lot of wisdom with us.
Well, I really appreciate you guys. I love doing this. So if we look for a different way to do it, I still see patients in person as well as on Zoom. So, you can find me if you're interested.
Yep. If anybody's watching this recording later, or one of you wants to circle back, you can always look up Dr. Ann Merkel in Mineral Bluffs, Georgia, and she'd be happy to engage with you. And you can always contact the Wellness Enterprise if you're having a hard time finding her.
Just Google me. I'm right up there with Angela Merkel from Germany.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, I think that's all we got. So thank you all for being here, and
Well,
yeah,
thank you, Patter, for allowing the forum of Lovonya to take the form that it's taken and inviting us to share what we do and help other people too.
it's a pleasure. It just came through, you just do best to give it life. So there'll be 2 more Lovonya calls. There'll be one next week that I'm leading and teaching, and then there's a going away party on November 7th. So same usual time slot. We have 2 more calls. So hope to see you guys there.
Okay, great.
All right. Bye for now, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Ann.
Bye. Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.